We're almost at the top three, and it's been a pretty exhausting journey, wouldn't you say? But we didn't come all this way just to come all this way, did we? Or am I going to finish this strange journey all alone? Well, with or without you, here I'm going. Which scary or strange-looking bird do we have at this runner-up spot to the top three finishers of this particular list? In the fourth place position, you might have already guessed who was going to come after the condors, another group of scavengers that are just like those particular bald-headed birds that we just looked at, and they are the vultures. You knew these guys were going to be on this list, didn't you? You just didn't know how high up they were going to land. Vultures have always creeped and freaked me out, and practically all of them look like the embodiment of death, or all of them basically look like a shaman for death itself. And for ages, whether it was in family-friendly cartoons or in popular TV shows like Breaking Bad, vultures have often been associated with death, and so oftentimes, their presence has also been used as a portent of impending doom. And on top of all that unsavory death, gloom, and doom reputation of theirs, every single vulture that I've ever seen by now, and I'm pretty sure I've seen them all, thanks to the in-depth research that I've had to do for this unique list, they're also just so trashy and terrifyingly looking with their appearances. Needless to say, all of that just does not endear them to me one bit. But why didn't I choose one specific vulture for this list, like I specifically chose a harpy eagle as the creepiest and darkest eagle to make an appearance here? Well, I tried to pick just one, but I couldn't really. They're all just as nasty, trashy, and freakishly looking as the next. So I just sort of cheated and lumped them all together at this fourth place spot as one. But if I really had to choose just one to occupy this number 4 position and to represent this group as a whole, it'd probably be the Cape vulture. Well, if the vulture's appearance on this list wasn't that much a surprise for you, this next one at the number 3 spot probably will be. And what do we have? It's the super creepy and strangely looking Pesqua's parrot. So, of all the bird families out there that you've heard of having a parrot just showing up on this list at all, let alone this high up on this list, was something you probably did not expect or anticipated one bit. But at this point, you might even be thinking, this thing's a parrot? According to science, yes. But looking a lot more like a vulture if you ask me, as well as a pet of Moloch's and being born out of spit, I'm pretty sure, with a fiery red plumage that is reminiscent of the many images of hell that we've seen out there, and a head that appears to have been dipped in black ink, and that shows their unsettling bare facial skin as well. I'd say that this very unusual parrot has darkness and scariness written all over it. Heck, this creepy-looking bird's appearance is so unnerving that its other name is actually called the Dracula parrot. And apparently, they're only found in New Guinea too. If you happen to come across one of these frightful-looking birds in the wild, and especially toward the nighttime, you might just think that they had just flown out of hell itself to terrify you and to leave you traumatized. So it's all no surprise to me why they have made it onto this list and have landed at such a high spot on it, even as parrots. Well, our number 3 on this list was really interesting, wasn't it? What is going to be up ahead for us at the last 2 spots, then? But yeah, that's all that we have left. Just 2 more stops. 2 more eerie steps to take, if you will, until we finally get to the end of this scary and fascinating ride. So who's waiting for us at our second and runner-up place of this unique group then? Why, it is a lesser-known but definitely thoroughly and totally creepy great patoo. And just like our 3rd place finisher, this spooky and creepy-looking member of the avian family also has a very appropriate and apt other name, the ghost bird, and I kid you not. When I thought about looking for pictures of this frightening bird again, I actually shuddered a bit about the task. We've seen our share of strange birds on this list thus far, but the great patoo might just be the strangest of them all, or at least in a very different way and in its own very particular way, with an overall, just very spooky appearance, with those sinister-looking and humongous black eyes, along with a massive gaping frog-like mouth that can just swallow other birds whole. The great patoo has more than earned its place at this number 2 spot as the second scariest or creepiest bird on this earth. And you have to hear this bizarre-looking creature as well. Not only do they look like something straight out of your darkest nightmares, but they also sound like they belong in your scariest dreams too. And that call of theirs has been repeatedly described by many sources as a haunting one, if it was early evening, and I happen upon one of these strange-looking birds out in the countryside, I might just first pee my pants just from the sounds that were coming from their beaks. Then after shivers run up my spine, I will anxiously and terrifyingly seek out the source of that eerie sound. And when I finally locate and see this frightening creature, I might just pee my pants a second time and make a desperate run for it. So that was a great patoo. But what it is great at, I am not so sure. Maybe being super spooky and creepy. Anyways, so wow, we barely survived that encounter and barely escaped with our lives. But we are not done yet. There is still one more, one final step, one last stage to conquer on this dark and terrifying mountain. Are you ready for it? Let's do it. Let's get this over with. So, who are we going to have here at the number 1 spot on such a unique and fascinating list as this? Well, it is none other than the crow. Completely black, as if born out of the darkness and night itself. And they themselves are often used as an omen for incoming or approaching evil and disaster. Although, I keep on hearing that they are actually very smart for an animal. But their reputation as a messenger of darkness and as a bird of doom has always greatly overshadowed that fact of them being very intelligent, to me. And like some other bird of darkness on here, crows are scavengers, a behavior that I have always found to be appalling and disgusting, and have always frowned upon. So when many think of a bird of darkness, or one who is associated with the darkness, or that generally has a dark reputation, the crow is the one who often comes to mind first and very quickly. And that is why they are here at the number 1 spot on this list that has been all about these birds of darkness and spookiness. So there you have it. We are finally done. I hope you found this unique list to be quite the fascinating and interesting one. And even though it was also quite the dark and different journey, I hope you still did enjoy it to a certain extent and with a certain curiosity. So until the next time, peace.